ZeBirdBrain, and today we are still talking about vectorization. So welcome to this little series that I'm making about this subject in Harmony. So this is part 1 and it's going to be about the basics. So what is vectorization? Vectorization is the process of taking a drawing that is raster, so it means that there is anti-aliasing done on the drawing, and make it into this vector drawing that is made using vectors. Now, why would you want to do that? So one of the reasons you want to do that is that vector is lighter than raster in a lot of cases. It is also easier to work with vector colors. Like the whole point of working in Harmony oftentimes is to use its powerful color palettes, where if I have a color here, I can always change it as I go. And if I want to repaint over a color, it's super easy to just take my repaint brush and just, paint over it, and then it looks cool. So there's a lot of power to vectors. But mainly, what it's been used for, like historically, is to be able to fill the zones with the bucket tool without having to yourself draw everything, okay? So that's what vectorization is. Of course, if you want to learn more, just Google the term vectorization and you can learn. You're gonna so many papers you can read, okay? I'm keeping it short and sweet. So to vectorize an image in Harmony, you have two options that I know of. You have to go into File, Import, and then you're gonna have these two choices. There's From Scanner, and then there's, Images. So From Scanner is very great because it allows you to take a drawing that is made on a sheet of paper, shove it into your scanner, and then import it directly into Harmony. However, I do not have a scanner. So maybe in the future I'm gonna cover this, but at the moment, I'm sorry, I don't have a scanner to do this. However, you see here, there's like import option, convert it to boom vector drawing. This is what we want to talk about. And fortunately, you can find this into File, Import, Images. I've covered it before, where there is Keep as Original Bitmap, Import as Toon Boom Bitmap Drawings, and I never had the time to cover Convert to Toon Boom Vector Drawing because, it's a handful. That's why I'm making it a series. Like I said, part 1, basics. Let's just scan a drawing in the software. Okay, you're gonna notice that I say scan a drawing into the software. This is because back in the days when I was using Harmony, I used it on hand-drawn paper animation, and we were using scanners. So sorry, this is like years and years of me saying I'm gonna scan my drawing, but what I meant is vectorization. So if I ever slip in this video and I say scan your drawing, I mean vectorize, okay? Because I don't even have a scanner. You go to Convert to Move Vector Drawing, and then into the vectorization option, you're gonna find, in your case, black and white or gray. I have new presets because, like I said, I use these vectorization tools for many other things than just the basics, right? But in basics, we have black and white and gray. So what is the difference between black and white and gray? So the difference is that if I go here, you see, this has like texture and everything. And this is pure vector art, like black and white. If you vectorize in black and white, it's gonna take your image like this and convert it into pure vector strokes. If you choose the gray option, it's going to maintain the look of the image on the line art, but on the color art level, it's going to create vector strokes to allow you to paint. Okay, so that's the two things I'm going to show today. So I'm going to go to File, Browse, and I'm going to go get Tree's lovely fairy character that they drew, like this, and I will import it. Now, note that in this drawing, there is a green line, and in this drawing, there is no green line. So I'm going to start with the black-only drawing, but spoilers, you can also have drawings that are black, and you can have like RGB colors, red, green, and blue, and use them to do certain things in your drawing. So you can use the green lines to make your shadow area and something, and Harmony will scan the green lines and allow you to turn it off so that you only have the black, okay? But, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just focus on the black and white drawing. I'm gonna take it and import it into the software using black and white, and I'm gonna press OK. So without changing any parameters or anything, I now have this beautiful drawing imported into Harmony. Now, of course, it's not perfect because there is so many things you can customize and parameters you can play with. Isn't it neat to just be able to take your drawing and turn it into a vector? It's great because then you can take these lines and you can recolor them with the repaint tool. You can make these wings golden like this. And just to try things out, and then on the color art, of course, now it tried to make it color art. It's not perfect because the drawing was not intended to be used as a cleanup drawing. So there's many gaps and holes. So of course it's going to be a bit harder to fill it. But at least now you have your vectorized line art that you can do stuff with. So you could like paint it if you need. So that's pretty great. But like I said, if you intend on really taking your line art and coloring it in Harmony using colored vectors, you need to make a good job at your cleanup. But I just want to show that from the get-go, you can just import your drawings and make them vector. So now that's useful for backgrounds, it's amazing for characters, for props, for anything that you don't want to have to retrace a second time. Like if you drew it in your sketchbook or in another software, why retrace it in Harmony if you can just vectorize it? Sometimes it's just good enough. I'm gonna hide this drawing and do it again. So I'm gonna import images, convert to Toon Boom vector drawing. I'm using the same drawing, but this time, instead of choosing black and white, I'm gonna choose the default gray. I'm gonna show you what's the difference between the two. So with my default gray, I'm gonna press OK. And now you see it maintained the exact same look that I had in the other software, right here. But it turned all these zones into things that can be read as a vector. So on my line art, I have these textured lines. And you know, you can still paint those textured lines. They just tend to be heavier than the regular vectors, of course, because there is textures attached to it. And now if I go to color art, however, this is where it creates the classic like vector lines. So that will allow you to have a very textured line art and still be able to use like different colors to fill your character. So now this was like the basic way to import the drawings in your scene. However, I'm going to just show you that you can go to images, import again, but instead of just choosing black and white or gray, you can also create a new preset. So I'm just going to click on black and white and then press on plus to create a new preset. And then you can go into this little button here to edit your preset. And now this is a whole can of worm that I'm not going to open today because I was just showing you the basics of importing your drawing in the software. But this will allow you to like customize exactly how you scan these drawings and stuff. But that will be for another video because today I'm keeping to the basics. So again, if you want to import a character, I'm gonna go get my fairy drawing here, this one. If you want to import a character, always make sure that your drawing is done the right way. And by that I mean, if I vectorize it, if you want to be able to use it for animation, always make sure that you close most of your gaps, if you can, like the large ones, because otherwise when you come to do the color on your character, you will need to manually go to your paint bucket, use the stroke or the close gap tool, and you will need to manually go and close your gaps if you didn't do it already, which is okay. Like I think it's therapeutic. I kind of like to do this, like meditation. Or you can also try to rely on the drawing, clean up, close gaps. However, it is not always the best option. Like you can play with it, but you see it's going to triangulate and do things in a bunch of weird ways. So usually close gap is for tiny gaps that you might have forgotten, not for very large holes, like gaping holes in your drawing, okay? So know that you have to be careful. And also, like if you have things like the legs or the wings here that are out of the screen, always make sure you just use like a straight line here to close these things. And from this imported drawing that I did not touch or anything, I can start to, you know, paint this character in. Okay, so I'm gonna see you next week for more knowledge about vectorization. Yeah! Have a nice week!